Let me show you where you can find inspiration, because inspiration can be found anywhere. GM Sprinkles here with another video. Welcome back. Today we are discussing inspiration. I know it's been a little while since I've done one of these full-length videos, but I am back and I'm going to be doing them once a week now again. I just want to pump out that 30 days of world building, which is all done. So if you have missed that, check that out right here. I will be doing a video in the near future of a rundown of a summary of all the 30 days and how I felt of the experience and etc, etc. Then later on I will be doing a narration of me telling a story based on that world, which we started building in those 30 days of world building. But let's get on to today's video, inspiration. So, I'm not talking about D&D 5th edition inspiration where you can, spend some to get advantage on a dice roll. Not at all. I'm talking about real life inspiration where you can pull ideas for a novel or your TTRPG or whatever you're doing. So usually I pull from history. So something like the Peloponnesian War is a really good example on how a war happened. There's no real one cause, but it was a heap of events that have caused it to happen. And I've really used that in my most current campaign that I'm building. Or even Minoan civilization, which we know not much about. We haven't fully deciphered their language, so we don't know exactly what it is, but some believe it is a matriarchy. That's up for debate, of course. However, here's the thing. If you're using history, I'll tell you a little secret. We're not historians, so it doesn't matter if we're telling the truth. We're just using it for inspiration. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the truth is. The truth only gets in the way of a good story anyway. Another part of it is Greek myth. I've used that as well. Or Xenophon's famous Anabasis. Absolutely amazing story that you can pull inspiration from. Or even if you're more into modern history, you can use that as well. Like Germans invading Russia. I use that in one of my other ones. So there is this really kingdom in the cold north. And every time they get invaded, no one's really prepared to deal with the cold north. And they don't know how to deal, so they suffer and have to retreat. But I've come up with a new way, and I really love this way. As you probably know from my videos, I'm a lover of coffee and donuts. Well, actually anything sweet. But when I make my coffees in the morning, I use a French press, so it does leave a lot of ground at the bottom of my cup. So if you look on the screen right now, you will see a cup here, and when I look at this, I see an image. I see a cliff, and there's a waterfall cascading down below where there's a field of snowy pine trees. And just like that, we've got a bit of a vibe. We've got the climate, or the weather kind of conditions of our story, so we can use that as well. And then the next day, I made another coffee, and I actually looked a little bit more carefully. And what I got is a shadowy figure crossing a bridge with water either side of him. And then I kept doing this, and I got my third picture, which I saw a wooden cottage amongst a heap of pine trees, which is really fitting in already with that first mug there. And the fourth and final mug here, you'll see a group of people holding hands in a circle around a campfire. That's what I see anyway. You might see different. Let me know what you see below. I would love to know. And already we can start to piece this together to build a story. Already now I've got a story in my mind. There's an old village in the frozen mountains with a waterfall cascading down to the pine trees below. On top of the waterfall there is a cult of figures all wrapped in cloaks around a campfire, performing a ritual to bring back an old forgotten horror. And already there we have a villain that we're building as this cult, and what they're trying to bring into the world. The players might have to travel far away up the mountains and deal with high altitude, snow, freezing, survival checks, exhaustion, all those things there. And that sounds like a lot of fun for a book or even your TTRPG. I love the idea of this already. I drink a cup of coffee every morning before I go to work anyway. So here I drink it, I leave it out, the grinds settle, I take a photo when I get home, and there is a prompt that I can think of. Otherwise, there's great things like story dice. I've got a set of those as well. Or you can just use cultures and people and religions from real history and tweak them to make them fit in your world, or use them as inspiration. So I've used the Scythian nomads from the Iron Age. I've used them as inspiration for my culture in my world. So pulling from real history as well as some images, whether it's the painting or these coffee mugs, you can really get your inspiration from anywhere. If you're looking for other methods of inspiration for your story, comic, or your game, I would suggest like, subscribing, and sharing to your friends. If you don't have any friends, just share to anyone you can, because I'm going to be posting more and more videos to help you get inspired, as well as ideas that I don't have time to use for my games that you guys can just steal and use all you want. After all, knowledge and ideas are meant to be shared. Thank you so much for watching. May the muses inspire you to tell grander stories.